Mr. Izo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me too?
Okay. Yes, yes, I can.
All
Can you
right.
see my face? Is this place well lit up, or do I need to put on the light?
Let me go to full screen. I'm not there. Okay, so I can see you. Yes, I can see you.
Okay. Do I need to put on the light? Is it fine this way?
It's actually fine. It looks good.
Okay. Oh.
Are you gonna be sharing a slide?
Yes.
Okay, so
Can
let me
I
just.
Can I send it to you?
No, no, I would make you a host so I could share from you.
Okay. Está saliendo, espérate, está saliendo, está saliendo.
Hello,
Hi, good morning, good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Yeah.
I guess we are waiting for the rest.
Yes.
Mas em que tem calor.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Hi.
Yeah, how are you doing? Is that Ibukun? Hi, Ibukun.
Yes, it's Ibukun. Good afternoon. I'm fine. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Happy weekend. Sure you're enjoying your weekend.
Yes, so I'm trying my best. Thank you. How about you?
Yeah, it's fine. It's been stressful, but it's fine.
Okay.
Hi, Ekomobong Jonathan. I think I have someone on the call. It's muted. Hi, Ekomobong. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. My network is a bit unstable.
Okay. Happy weekend, Ekom. Welcome.
Best with you. Thank you.
I'm trying to wait for the rest, but I don't know. They are yet to come in yet. Maybe at exactly two
We'll
ten
just
we'll
wait.
start. Yeah,
Okay,
what do you
no
say?
problem.
Yeah, we'll just wait till 2:10. Once
No
it stops.
problem.
All right. Okay, while we're waiting for them,
Okay.
So, Ekobon, can you just tell us why are you here? Why did you join? What are your expectations? Yeah. Or let's say start from introduction.
Okay.
What's your name? What do you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Hello everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to Ekom.
My name is Ekomobong Jonathan, and what I do, I save Nigeria. I'm currently a core member.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Okay, so I think sometime last month, yeah, there is this group that I happen to be a member, and one of the lesson days we were taught about this Gemini AI, how you could, use your pictures. It could be most times pictures with low quality, so you could change the background and give it more life.
Yeah, a
And
good one.
then, well, I did try out, and I, yes, I tried it and I got some pictures. Though to some extent, the facial appearance was a bit tampered with. So
Okay.
I now learned that it's from the prompt you input. That's what gives you a very good result. So I didn't even know. I think it's this morning while I viewed your status, Nene, I saw this prompt like a pro life webinar, and I just registered for it because I mean, if it is prompt that masterpieces, I wouldn't mind having to attend it. The world has
Sorry, I couldn't hear at some point. Please,
help.
can you hear me, guys?
My network. Oh.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
All right. Okay, I think we've gotten basically what you do. So you just want to learn more about AI. I'm
Yes,
not wrong.
I want to, especially about the prompt, because that's
All
what gives from the prompt you input is what gives you a good result.
All right. So I hope you learn beyond just creating your image of yourself and also learn beyond that too. So thank you very much, Ekomobong, for speaking. Yeah, Mr.
Thank
Elijah.
you too.
Mr. Elijah, can you talk now? I guess his network is
His network.
network, right? I guess so. Just to save time, just to save time. So basically what we'll be doing today is just how to prompt AI. So AI, as we all know, is artificial intelligence, and it's taking almost space, name it the educational space. So like I said, AI is taking over, just name it, the education, business, um, what else? Football, sports, yeah, almost every sphere of life, right? AI is taking over it, and it's for me, I believe it's making things much more easier. It's not taking over our job per se, but it's helping us to be more productive and help us to do what we would have done um within a longer period of time in a shorter frame of time. right? And for like I used to say to people that are within my circle, I would say AI will expose the level of your creativity to get will tell me how creative you are, right? And one of the major mistakes people make one of the major mistakes people make is that they tend to communicate with AI like human being, and AI is not a human being. So for you to be able to get the right results, you should be able to communicate with AI the way it ought to be communicated. You have to use the language to understand. There are some important features, important things you need to note in communicating with AI. And I would say in a simple language, that's what we call prompt engineering. And that's what we'll be learning today, how to prompt AI to get the results we need, right? If you just talk to AI anyhow, you will get any results and it might not be the results you want. So that's what we'll basically be learning today. And Miss Ibukun will be taking us on that session. I guess before she starts, Mr. Elijah might want to say one or two. Hi, Mr. Elijah. Okay. It seems his network is
Can you hear me?
Alright, yes, we can hear you now.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome, Mr. Elijah.
Thank you. Sorry. Set up everything and we're about to start and the connection just went off. That's what I was struggling with for the past 5 minutes. Okay, so good to see everyone. I don't know if you can see me. Hi, hi. Thank you, Miss Praise, for
We
the warm.
can see you.
All right, thank you, Miss Praise, for the warm introduction of the session. And because of I'd already like used out of the time I'm supposed to use to talk, so I'm just going to go straight up to continue the conversation from there. All right, so on the call we have Miss Praise. I don't know if Miss Praise I've mentioned. That's you see the flyer, okay, it's on my back somewhere here. So in flyer, you could see Miss Praise over on my left-hand side, and she's the one that just spoke to us, giving us just a brief introduction on what we are set to do today. And all right, so behind me, you can see Miss Ibukun. Miss Ibukun is also on the call and also pumped up to give us a session on prompt engineering. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I will just start from
Yes,
um, I'll start from what I have on my screen. I just want to put in some perspective to what AI is, right? So I think one thing we've learned from this journey of continually teaching teachers here and there about AI and all of that, sometimes we find out that there are some fundamentals that we really need to break down to make it not look so vague and understandable. So those terms are what I quickly want to run through. The first one, so just simple AI glossary for teachers, just making it pretty easy. It's my second slide showing, or still on the first slide, because everything is just looking
you are still on the first slide, Mr.
okay.
Elijah.
Can you see the second slide now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
How about now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let me move from here. So the first thing I will just try to define and help me to do this in 10 minutes. The first I'll try to define is artificial intelligence, AI. Can you see that on my screen?
Very well.
Yeah.
All right, so AI. AI simply means technology that can think, act like human in small, helpful ways, right? So just to make it very understandable, it's just any technology that you see that acts like a human, right? In a small, helpful way, it's called AI, right? So not only the chat box, we don't find AI only in our chat box. We probably find AI even on our mobile devices. There are some things that we do on our phones that actually AI does. Some of the autocorrects you do either it's between the family of AI and machine learning. It has been existing for a long time, right? So AI just became the limelight. And the first time I had ChatGPT was 2023. Yes. So I went into a tech space that very day and I saw it was just like, hey, did you see what this thing can do? And I was, what are you talking about? That was 2023. One of the time I just stepped into a new work environment during that season. So AI has always been. Now it's everywhere and it's going to be everywhere for a very long time. Like I said on the call, on the voice note I sent to the group, at some point it will be the new normal. It's already a new normal and it's just going to be a way of life. It's not going anywhere, right? So we can't talk our way out of it, right? So AI is what we see every day in our devices, on the streets, and everywhere. And that's just AI. But now we hear word when we're speaking now, we say something like you have to prompt the AI, or we say prompt the model, right? This is like we're saying a model is the brain of the AI system, right? A model is essentially the sophisticated program, all the things the programmer wrote down together to design what you see. That is the model. So model was trained with different data, different information and everything. So when you want to ask the computer, the AI a question, you are actually asking the model that question. I'm going to just leave it as that. Then we used to hear things like large language model. What is it? It is a big AI brain that understands and creates human language. All right, so before AI existed, but it could not interpret what it can do in text until LLM came out. So LLM came out, I think, around that 2022. I mean, within that season, between 2020 and 2022, that was when the LLM boom came out. At the same time, the chip boom came out, and they kind of met each other within the same season, and that was how the whole blast came in. And AI is now everywhere. Everybody has created project and everything with AI, right? So that's where it came. But what can it do? It can chat. It can write notes. So at some point, what was trending was on a call like this, we have fireflies and some things that can help record your meeting. That's LLM. Anytime you chat with Meta on your phone and it gives you a response, that's LLM. You're actually chatting with the LLM, right? So that's large language model. And examples of them are the one very popular to you. We have ChatGPT, we have Google Gemini, we have Claude, we have Grok, we have many and many of them. I was going to say something in this call. At some point, you feel like so many that you don't need to even get overwhelmed at all because you don't have to know all of them, right? I know so many, but I use very few. I think I just use ChatGPT. I don't stress. I have Claude app on my phone. I have Gemini app on my phone. I only use Gemini when I want to conduct maybe research or something or generate images. So just know what you need and get the tools that you need. You don't have to know all of them. But it's good to be aware of what is going on, but you don't have to engage yourself in everything and just get too cumbersome, right? So simple analogy, I've already explained that. So let's leave LLM. Are we still getting me? Do we
Yeah, very well, we can.
All right. So the other thing that you will start hearing a lot around us right now is what they call AI agents.
Yeah.
All right. So we did agentic AI in the last time we did a course for 10 days. I know we didn't, I feel like we didn't flog it very well. Maybe we did and some people understood it. But an AI agent is an AI that can act on its own, right? So when you chat with ChatGPT, you get a response, right? When it gives you a response, you ask again. All it's doing is that it's carrying out action based on your prompt and your requests. But there's a point where AI is and is even going to become further sophisticated. Is a point where AI can actually work for you, right? So people are already doing it in marketing, whereby AI goes out to search for prospects, sends message to the prospects, receive response from the prospect, process their responses, and does a lot of um, automated process by itself. Imagine AI helping you to reply all your chats, all your messages on WhatsApp, and they're not going to that point, right? But it's going to get there very soon. Whereby I don't have to open my chats, my WhatsApp chat. AI already know what I want to give the response, and people are already doing it in their marketing system, whereby you send message to them, AI already knows the response based on their own database and gives you an answer. They don't have to be involved in the flow, right? That is what agents mean. So you can also see agents maybe in robots, whereby you have a robot in your house, and the agent, it can take some actions by itself. That is also agentic AI or AI agents. So AI agents it's something you can also learn. Something you can also try to use in your workflow. But if it gets too complicated, not too complicated actually, it's quite simple. And I know it's going to be much simpler in months or years to come. Now we always hear things like TTX, that is text to speech, whereby AI can convert the text that you type into speech. So, right, so AI processes the written text and turn it into a voice, right? You can also hear things like SCT, that is speech to text. That is when you're speaking. So, as I'm speaking now, it's very common these days where you are speaking to a call. If I on the caption on, it's going to pick my voice, and it has gotten very much more accurate, that it can also pick my voice sufficiently and give the sentence correctly. All right, so I'm getting feedback.
Yeah, I can get a feedback.
So I just want to check through those. The mic is unmuted. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's
All right.
better.
Okay, great. Um, so I'm already concluding. Text to speech, and we have TXA, two specific AI. Two specific AI are just AIs that does a specific thing. All right, so we are getting used to using AIs to generate our lesson notes right now, our lesson plan, our classroom management assistance, picture image generation. So there's some AI that has specific tasks, right? Even in your inbox, there's AI that performs a task there. In so many ways, we can see some two specific AI, right? And I think finally, okay, image generation, I mentioned that earlier. That is totally not new to us, and it's part of what we mentioned in the last meeting, where we emphasize on creating digital assets with AI, right? So two generation is when AI can create images for you. So we hear AI image. Sometimes anyway, we hear AI image, that is that. Then prompts, just as I'm going to conclude my conversation now. All right, is your instruction or command to AI. A prompt is what you type, right? So what you say to the model, remember what the model is. So what you say to the model, that is your prompt. And the better your prompt, the better your feedback. And just what we're talking about today, as I'm going to call on Ms. Ibukun Esson, and is prompt engineering, right? So there's a skill called prompt engineering right now. Now, there is a sophisticated level of prompt engineering where you have to do that in AI creation. Maybe you're creating a tool, but there's just the basic understanding of prompt engineering where you know how to ask AI the right things, where you know how to give AI the right prompts to get the best results. Sometimes you might have to iterate over what you're trying to get, over 10 conversation or 10 responses, and sometimes that can get worrisome. And I don't think I've totally escaped that, because sometimes I still try to make AI understand what I'm trying to say, right? Or sometimes it just decides to do what it likes. There's something I removed from this slide, hallucination. So there's what they call hallucination. AI also can hallucinate. It tells you what is not true. And that's why everything you get from AI, you need to verify, at least to some considerable extent. Just try and verify, especially the things that maybe you're not familiar with, right? So you just need to verify, try to get the sources where it got it from, right? So right now, one major improvement in AI is that once it gives you a response, it tells you where it got those things from. Then you can go to those links so that you can know exactly whether these things were actually genuine. So one thing that I noticed is that some people feel like, okay, when you do something with AI, it is AI that did it for you. The truth is that the process of searching for information has always been there, right? If I want to get something done, I want to create a code for a program, I either need to go through the documentation of that programming language, or I want to teach a child something, I need to go and do a research, like go and read a textbook about it. But what AI just does, and that's the beauty of it, is that it will go through that textbook and give me the relevant information I need, right? So it's not like AI is taking the place of research, of getting information, of seeking information. It's just that it has made that process easier, right? So I want to talk about something. I don't have to shuffle through 10 papers, 10 journals before I can get that information. I can ask AI, it picks out the point I need from each journal with references and gives it to me, right? So that's the beauty of it. So prompt engineering is how to guide, and there are templates that I'm very sure that Miss I'm just going to share with us today. All right, so Mr. Bukon is what do I have after this? Okay, I have some conversations after. So Mr. Bukon is um an educator. She's also a product and community manager in an ed tech firm, and she has been I mean, I think I don't know when, since when I started seeing her post on LinkedIn. I don't know exactly when, but one thing I do is that I go around LinkedIn, just see what people are doing. So I've been seeing the things that she does, and that's majorly the way I get to, like, okay, try to connect people that probably have do things around what we are trying to do also in this community. And we're excited to have her come and share good knowledge with us. And next voice you're going to be hearing right now is Ms. Bukon. Ms. Bukon, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon,
All right.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Elijah. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay, this is my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Elijah. So already, the lesson one of this course, that's what everyone listen to. The lesson one is like an introduction to artificial intelligence, and it talks about what AI is, the limitations of AI. So you talked about hallucination, bias, everything like that is covered in lesson one. But Mr. Elijah already gave us like a background to understanding artificial intelligence, right? And what it can help you do. So I'll just go straight into prompt engineering. Like Mr. Elijah already explained, to get the best results from any AI tool, regardless of the kind of AI you are using, whether you're using a pro version or a free version of any AI tool at all, your prompt is what determines the kind of response you get. You can be using ChatGPT Pro while I'm using ChatGPT free. If your prompt is poor, and my own prompt is excellent, detailed, specific, I'll get a better result than you. So it's like when you're having a conversation with a friend, the things you say, how you explain what you're speaking to, what you're speaking about would determine how much they understand, right? The kind of context you give, the kind of examples you give, and how you explain whatever it is that you are discussing would determine, their understanding of the topic and how they can respond to you, basically. So we're going to prompt engineering. I'll start from generative AI, right? So generative AI is a field of artificial intelligence that generates new data based on data it has been trained on. So one thing I always say is data is the brain power of AI. Without data, no AI tool can do anything, right? Just like we humans, without memories, as human beings, we have memories, right? We have thoughts, all of those stuff. That's what makes us human. If somebody loses their memories today, what happens? It becomes like they're a new person, just experiencing life for the very first time. That's the same way data works for generative AI and any AI tool, actually. So generative AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, they are trained on a large amount of data, right, that helps them generate new data. So let me give an example. For example, as teachers, when you want to teach a new topic in your class, let's say you want to teach, let's say mathematics, you want to teach addition to, let's say, primary 1 students. What you do is you come to the class, right? Okay, you say 1 + 1 is 2, right? Then 2 + 2, 4. You give them examples. That example that you gave your students to teach them addition is like the data that AI is trained on. Now, after you've taught your students 1 plus 1, you've given them examples in the class and they understand how they can now do additions, then you now give them, let's say, a classwork. Okay, do this classwork, add these numbers together. The response that your students now give you is like the response that AI generates when you ask it a question. That means any question you ask AI, it is generating the answer to you based on data it has been trained on. Just like any answer your student is giving you in that classwork, they're giving you that answer based on their understanding of the examples that you gave them. Let me know if you understand. I don't know if what I just explained now is clear. So
Very clear.
okay, so data is really what helps AI be able to do anything, basically, data. So now, this is where LLMs comes in, right? So what are LLMs? LLM means large language models. They are models that are trained on a large amount of data and they can carry out various tasks like answering questions, translating, completing sentences. So they are large language models, they are trained on a massive amount of data. And the best way to get great responses from LLM tools is through prompt engineering. Now, what is prompt engineering? Okay, so examples of what you can do with generative AI basically. You can generate notes, generate assessments, generate marking guide, create instructional materials. Now, what is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is like the set of instruction or input that you give an AI model, like ChatGPT, for example, right? It could be a question, it could be a statement, it could be a command. Basically, what you want the AI to do for you. That is what a prompt is. Then prompt engineering is now how you design that prompt to ensure that you are getting the most accurate, relevant, and useful response from the AI tool. For example, if I want to ask ChatGPT about, let's say, the history of how Nigeria was named, how, the name of Nigeria came about, how Flora Shaw, named us, all of that. I can just simply ask, okay, maybe I should not use that example. Let me just use a simple example. Let me use what is reproduction? For example, if I ask ChatGPT or any LLM tool anyways, what is reproduction? It can give me a very simple and just, okay, reproduction means this, and that's it. But there's a way I can ask ChatGPT or that LLM or any LLM tool as well, what is reproduction, in a way that it will give me a detailed answer, specific and relevant to a particular target audience, and simplified in a way that that target audience will understand. For example, if you want to explain reproduction to let's say, a JSS1 student and an undergraduate in the university, I'm sure the way you would explain it to them would differ, right? The examples you use would differ and all of that stuff. So this is what prompt engineering helps you do. So it has to do with knowing how to ask the right questions to get the answer you want. Is that we see together?
Yes, ma'am. We are still
Okay.
together.
All right. So now I have this example. If you want to cook jollof rice, how do you cook it? Do you just pour everything into the pot, the oil, the onion, everything at once, and then pour the rice and leave it? Is that how we do it? No, right? That's not how it's done. What happens? The first thing is you pour the oil, then you fry onion. It's a step-by-step process, right? Then that helps you get the best jollof rice possible. That's the same way prompt engineering works. The more specific you get, the more you can give it the prompt step by step, the better the response you would get. Now, I'd like us to do this quick exercise here with your phone. You can just quickly type in the first prompt. Create a lesson plan on the topic essay writing. I'm not sure we'll be able to do the second prompt anyways, because it's so long and I'm not sure I'll be able to send it to the group. But we can have the first prompt. You can type the first prompt on, let's say, ChatGPT, or Gemini, any AI to use. Just type, create a lesson note, a lesson plan on the topic essay writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So would you like to share the response you got? Maybe copy it into the chat if possible.
All right, I'll do that now. It's still generating, so.
Okay, so not to waste time, if this was like a physical class, that had like an exercise, right? But the aim of this exercise is basically to show you that the way you prompt your AI tool will determine the kind of response you get, right? I had this exercise with a group of teachers I trained last week, and one of the patterns I observed is that your AI tools will give you responses based on how you've been using it before. Now, when we did this exercise, the school principal, he uses AI tools a lot and he knows how to prompt well. We observed that even with a simple prompt, the AI already understands him. So the AI tool gave him a very good response, right? But there were other people in the room that their response was they've not been using their AI tool so well. So he gave them very, very shallow answer.
I've dropped it in the chat, please.
All right. Thank you. Hey, you know how to now get it now. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'm taking it now. Class duration, topic, previous knowledge. Mr. Ne, use AI tools before, right? You used to follow this structure with you.
What do you say now?
Okay, thank you. I've seen this. I've seen what you sent. So now, do
Okay.
you know that if she makes use of that long prompt, that the long prompt, do you know that she'll get a very different answer from what she gets with this? Okay. Are we still here?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay. I was saying that if we had inputted the long prompt, that long AI prompt, right, that you'd have gotten like more detailed answer compared to this. Do you know that?
Yes.
Yes, would have gotten a more detailed answer because the AI would have had more context and to know that, okay, this is the class that we are giving this thing, this is the class we are teaching on this topic. Okay, this is what to include. These are the kind of, this is the content to include. Okay, don't include this type of essay, include this type of essay and all of those stuff. That is why prompt engineering is important. Now, so basically, why is it important? Number one, it improves your LLM's input over time. I told you that the more you use AI tools, the more it understands you and the more it gives you great responses based on its understanding of who you are, right? I use AI tools a lot for my work, and when I prompt it on a particular topic, it gives me answer based on the context. I'm still going to explain what context means later on, so don't worry. It gives me answer based on based on who he knows me to be. Let me put it that way. So, and once I keep using it that way, it will keep giving me great answers because I already told this, or he already knows me since I've been using the pattern. This is who this person is. This is the kind of work they do, and all of those stuff. And that thing is, it removes bias. So what is bias? For example, if you ask AI to, this is like in lesson 1, but there's no need for that. If you ask AI to give me the picture of a primary school English language teacher, it will most likely give you the image of a white woman, right? And that is bias, right? Because why does AI to think a primary school English teacher should be a white woman and not a black man, for example, right? But if you had said, give me the picture of a black English language teacher, maybe a black male English language teacher, that bias would have been removed. They're giving you the right response. There's also something known as dirty data. So when AI is trained on dirty data or biased data or information, it will give you responses based on that data that it has. Now, let's look at types of prompts. This is now we are getting into the course, we'll look at types of prompts and then the structure of a good prompt. Number one, zero-shot learning, right? This involves writing a simple instruction with no example for the AI model to follow. So this is where most people are, zero-shot prompting. They want to ask for, what is this? And just what is this? And, the AI just gives you a response, defines the term for you, and then that's all. That's zero-shot. Now, the next level after zero-shot is one-shot learning. One-shot learning includes giving an example or context to the prompt so that it gives you a relevant answer, right? Now, there's something known as, what's the word I'll use now? Words that have two meanings. I can't remember the particular term that I used for them. So some words have two meanings, right? For example, gay. Gay does not only refer to being an homosexual. Gay can also refer to being happy in Old English, right? So when you tell ChatGPT, for example, let's say you are using zero-shot learning, the first one, for your, for your prompt, I tell ChatGPT, define gay. It will give you the generalized meaning of gay. Okay, gay means a person in an homosexual relationship or having sexual relations with the same gender. But when you now tell the AI, when you use one-shot learning and you tell AI, in terms of being happy, define gay, it will now define gay based on the context of being happy, of that context of in terms of being happy. Do you understand? Please let me know if you can still hear me.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you very well.
Okay.
Yes, we can. Yes, we understand.
All right. So to give you the response based on that context that you already gave it, or based on the example that you already gave it, just one example. That's why it's called one-shot learning, right? The third one is few-shot learning. So what does few-shot learning means? It's when you provide two or more examples in your prompt to establish the kind of context or kind of response that you're expecting. Now, an example here is, as ChatGPT is to AI, right? ChatGPT is an AI tool, right? And Canva is to design. Canva is a design tool, right? What is CapCut? Now, this prompt now contextualizes, things for AI. AI knows that, okay, this is the context in which you are asking, in which you are asking this question. You're not just asking what is CapCut. No, just like that. But you're giving it context, like, okay, I'm asking of what is CapCut in terms of these previous examples I gave you. So if you're saying that ChatGPT is to AI and Canva is to design, what is CapCut? CapCut is to video, right? So the context you gave that AI tool in your prompt will determine the kind of answer you get. I go to the next one. Chain of thought prompting. Now, what is chain of thought prompting? This is when you want the AI to do, let's say, a very complex task for you. Now, what you do in this place, in terms of chain of thought, is that you describe the process, you give the AI, you give the LLM the instruction, detail and step by step, right? You don't just give it all the details. Okay, this is it. No. You give it step by step, such that it's able to. It follows a chain of thought, level by level, to give you the response you want. Now, look at this example. Describe the process of training ChatGPT with data through a step-by-step process, explaining the reasoning behind your answer.
Just like looking at
Now,
weekly now. We look at that as well.
Someone's okay.
Sorry about that. I've muted.
Problem. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay.
Types of prompts.
Okay. So chain of thought is when you give the AI the prompts step by step, details by detail. So when you say describe the process of training ChatGPT with data through a step-by-step process, explaining. So now you're giving the AI to 3 instructions at the time. Number 1, describe the process of training ChatGPT with data. Step 2, don't just describe the process, but describe the process step by step, right? And don't just stop at describing it step by step. The third thing you should do is explain the reasoning behind your answer. So in this stage, you've given the AI like 3 instructions piling over each other. So there's like a chain, or you've given it like a direction for it to think through its answer. So you're not just saying, AI, give me this thing. We're telling him, follow this step. First, describe the process. Ensure that it's a step-by-step process. Ensure that you're explaining it step by step, and then explain the reasoning. So it's a chain of thought. So the AI tool knows how to present the answer to you. Do you understand? And then iterative prompting is when you improve the AI prompt, you improve your prompt based on the output you get. Now, let's say you give it this first prompt, right? Okay, describe the process of training ChatGPT with data and all of that. Then it gives you different steps and all of that. Then you now pick a particular step. There's a step in the process of training ChatGPT with data that's called fine-tuning stage. Then after you've gotten the response, right, you now say, okay, because I want to get a better response, I want to improve this prompt, I want to know more about this particular stage, now define the fine-tuning stage for me. So I want us to do this exercise quickly. I want us to type in this first prompt into ChatGPT or Gemini, any tool at all. Let's do this exercise quickly. Describe the process of training ChatGPT or Gemini, depending on the kind of tool you are using, or you can just say LLM. Describe the process of training LLM tools with data through a step-by-step process, explaining the reasoning behind your answer. Please, can we quickly do this exercise?
Please, can you read it out again?
Yes, I'll do that. So, describe the process of training LLM tools with data. Let's not use ChatGPT. Let's just make it a blanket tool. LLM tools with data through a step-by-step process.
Okay.
Explaining the reasoning behind the answer. Yeah.
Okay, a minute, please.
No problem.
Still loading down the app, sir.
Okay.
Wow. Long. Okay, let me copy. But it's a bit long.
Yes, that's because you gave it like a chain of thought prompt. That's why it will be detailed. right? You told it, describe it, and describe it step by step. And don't just stop at describing it step by step. Tell me why, tell me the reasoning, because one thing that you can use to bypass ChatGPT hallucination, right, is to tell it, okay, you give me this your answer now. Why did you come up with this answer? So you are challenging it basically. You're telling it, don't just come and give me answer. Tell me why this answer is correct. Right. So that's what it really helps you do.
Okay.
Now, okay, maybe maybe you do that, you have to paste it. So I want you to just look at one of the steps he gave you. Can you just read out? Okay, we started.
I'm
Okay.
sending it by bits
Send it.
because that's not
Okay.
all.
That's fine. That's fine. You've given us, that's fine. You can stop at this. Now, I can remember when I
Okay.
did this the teacher I spoke with last week. It gives some people more detailed responses beyond this for these steps. Now, the number 2 step here from Miss Nene's response: collect and curate raw data. You can see that it's about maybe 4 sentences or so. Now, Miss Nene, tell it to now explain. Let me take the prompt for you. Tell it to explain the filtering and collection of data states. That's number 3. You know, there's a stage that is called filter and clean the data. Now tell it to describe that step in more details. This is where iterative prompting comes in. Improving your previous data so that you get better response. Tell it to
You should
just say, explain maybe step 3. You can say step 3. It will understand that you're talking about filter and clean data. Can you say explain step 3 in more details? Giving you can say giving examples, and now it can be applied in the real world. Just basically probing it further so that it's giving you the most accurate response you need. For example, if we want to teach this step 3 to, okay, let me read it out now. Step 3 says, remove low quality duplicates or irrelevant content, filter personally identifiable information, 8 illegal content, all of boilerplate, all of that. Now, if I give a GSS1 student this statement, they may not understand it, right? We don't understand it. They may not. Now, Mr. I want you to put it this way. Tell it, define, explain step 3 in more details. Like a primary school, like a secondary school teacher teaching GSS1 students. Make it as simple as possible with relatable examples. So explain step 3 in more details, like a secondary school teacher teaching a GSS1 class, right? With relatable examples. Yeah. So let's improve that prompt. That's the iterative prompting. You know, you are iterating your prompt, you are improving your prompts, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm working on that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, I've gotten.
Okay.
This part of it.
Okay. I like this. Yes, can we see? Okay, everyone, let's look at the response that what she just gave us now. Now, let's check it together. Let's read it together. Let's just read it and see. Can we see? Can we see how simpler it is now? Do we see? Now, this one, you can explain it to anybody that they will understand. But you are still explaining a step in how ChatGPT is fed with data, or how LLMs are trained with data. But in this, due to the prompt that she gave the AI tool now, what happens? The AI tool has made the response simpler, and more relevant in a way that a JSS1 student can understand. Do we understand? Do we see the difference?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the goal of iterative prompting. It helps you get better response. And then the last one here is negative prompting. So this is basically specifying what you want the AI to include, or the limitations you want your answer to have. So for example, my example here is explain essay writing without mentioning descriptive essay. So we have 4 types of essay, right? We have descriptive essay, argumentative essay, expository essay, and narrative essay. Now, let's say you want to teach a class, and for this week, you want to teach them just about argumentative and narrative essay. Then the following week is for descriptive essay and expository essay. So you can tell the AI tool, you can tell the LLM tool when you are prompting it, explain essay writing, but don't talk about descriptive essay. So what it does is it talks about other parts, it talks about the other 3 types. That is expository, narrative, and argumentative, and it excludes descriptive essay, right? And that thing is, you can say things like, tell me the history of Nigeria, but don't include the reign of Sani Abacha, right? You've told this to exclude a particular part of history that you don't want that part in the answer to give to you. So to explain all the years, and when it gets to Sani Abacha's regime, to remove it and then move to the next, the next people, or the next, information that you need. So that is negative prompting. It helps you give the AI, it's like guide rails. When you're walking on the staircase, we have this rails that you can hold. What does those rails help you so you don't fall down, right, to the floor? It guides you basically. So that's the same thing negative prompting is for. It helps you tell the AI this is the kind of response I want. Don't include this kind of information. Now, this is where we're going to stop today, and I basically want us to just this is where I'll explain this, and then we'll have a prompt, and then that will be the end of the class. So a strong prompt contains 8 things. We have the first 4 here, the next slide has the next 4. A good prompt has 8 things. Number 1, the exact task you want the AI tool to perform, right? You want the AI to define artificial intelligence, define water. That's a specific tool, the specific task. You want it to define this concept for you, right? The next one is the situation or purpose. Why do you want it to define water for you? Or why do you want it to do this task for you? For example, if you are the prompt we used the other time about explain how LLM tools are trained with data. Maybe you want to use it to explain, you want to help students understand how AI tool works. So that's the context, right? That is the reason why you are asking that question. When you give AI that context or that background, it will also help it give you the best answer, right? When you wear, for example, let me give you an example. For these days, you see when maybe maybe somebody popular online says something in a clip, right? And then people just cut, maybe let's say it's a 30-minute clip, and people just hear like, let's say 2 minutes of that clip, and then they start saying, oh, look at what this person said. And then you hear people say things like, don't just base your entire understanding on this 2 minutes clip, because there's a context. He was speaking that there's a particular context based on which he said what he said. What does that mean? It means that when you say things in a specific context, it can either change the meaning, right? It can change the meaning of what you're saying. So when you give AI a context of why you're asking it, the particular question you're asking it, it will also help it give you it will help the AI tool give you great responses. It will improve the kind of response that you would get from that AI tool. The next one is the format or the structure. How do you want your response to be organized or to be presented? Do you want it to be in paragraph form? Do you want it to be in bullet form? Do you want it to be in, say, tabular form? You know, and so on and so forth. For example, if you are doing a competitive analysis, you are trying to understand, okay, between ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, which is the best AI tool that I can use for my work as a teacher? You can now ask it that question, right? That can be that's the specific task. You want it to compare ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity. Now, what's the context? Why are you doing that? Because you want to decide on the best one for you to choose, right? Now, that's the context. Number 3, the format can now be, give me this response in a tabular form, right? It's not just going to give you the answer in, okay, bullet points. It's not going to give it to you in a tabular form. Okay, this ChatGPT on one table, on one column, Gemini on another column, Perplexity on another column. Can we see? Number 4, personnel, role. What role or whose identity do you want this AI tool to take on? For example, for people that work in marketing, right? Maybe they want to create a content calendar for their business. You hear people say things like, assuming you are a marketing expert with 10 years of experience that has worked with Google, create a content calendar for me. So what AI now does in that context, right, is that it assumes the role or the personality of somebody that has 10 years of experience. So in this case, the AI is not just giving you response just based on its brain alone, but it is looking at, okay, if somebody has 10 years of experience in doing marketing, how would they create their content calendar? Right? So going back to the example of, doing the competitive analysis, comparing ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity, the personnel can be, I am the principal of a secondary school, right? And I want to recommend AI tools to my teachers, right? So this is the personnel you should take on. How will the school owner think when they are trying to compare AI tools? What matters to them? It can be things like the amount of money they have to pay, right? So you're not just comparing the tools based on what they can do. You're also giving me information based on cost, right? How much will we have to pay for this tool? Because that's something that is important to a school owner. So I want to know if we are getting me up to this point. Or if I'm too fast, just let me know. Okay, can we still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. An audience, audience is a group of people that the output is meant for. For example, the prompt that the exercise that Mrs. Nene helped us with, right? We saw that when we told the ChatGPT, when we told the AI tool, this answer is meant for JSS1 students, you can see that it broke the answer down in a relatable way that group of people can understand. Do we see? So the audience that you are using the ChatGPT, the AI response for is also important. So it is giving you relevant examples. It is breaking it down in a way that those people can understand. For example, the way you would teach marketing to, let's say, small business owners, let's say market women who are probably semi-literate, will be very different from the way you would teach it to, let's say PhD holders, right? The previous knowledge that this group of people have is very different. That's something that we use in education. Previous knowledge, you can build on previous knowledge to teach a new topic. If you thought about, let's say letter writing last week, and this week you want to talk about essay writing, there's a way you can build on that knowledge of letter writing to teach essay writing that your student will understand. Compared to, let's say, a student that's never heard anything about letter writing, there's a way they may not be able to understand based on who they are. So your audience is also important. Who are you giving this response? Who is it meant for? Number 6 is example. So you can give AI examples of how you want your answers to look like, right? I was speaking with someone there, I think it was still that last week at that training, and it was asking about how, AI tools does not give him 100 things. Maybe he says, oh, I want give me 50 of these things. It does not give you. And I was explaining that when AI tools will not give you 100 at the same time or 50 at the same time, it will either give you 10 or 20, and then like that. So what in this situation, when let's say you want the AI to give you 50 of something, it's best to collect that 50 that it has given you, right? More say, yeah, give me 50 of this, and it gives you 10. It is best to take that 10, look at that 10 by yourself, and that's the part of critical thinking in AI. It is important that you're not just taking AI's response hook, line, and sinker without critically assessing the response it has given you to ensure that it is relevant to your audience. We've also talked about hallucination, and that is when AI lies, or it gives you false answer and presents it in a way as if it is true. AI, you can ask AI a question, and AI does not know the answer. And instead of saying, no, I don't know the answer, AI wouldn't tell you that. AI will tell you this is the answer, and it will present it in a way that if you're not careful, you actually carry it on. So when AI tools give you, let's say, if they give me 50 things and it gives you 10, it is best to take that 10 things, the 10 items that it has given you, look at it critically, make some corrections, and then use it as a model, right, or example, and give it back to the AI tool and tell it, okay, based on this 10, based on this response I just gave you, give me the remaining 40 based on this example. So what it does is you've restricted that AI to that example, to how that example looks like. So the AI is going to give you a response based on the example you have given him. It's not going to go outside of that example. And number 7 is the tone or the mood that the response should carry. Maybe you want to teach, depending on your audience, you can want your tone to be maybe friendly, maybe to show authority, maybe to be lively, and so on and so forth. Because the tone that a response carries determines the choice of words that the AI tools will use when giving you a response. So the tone. And then finally is limitations. So what do you not want the AI tool to include? What is the limit that you want it to follow when giving you a response? So quickly, just take whatever example here, but I want us to take on the example of the LLM tool I explained. Ms. Nene, please, you have to work with me here. Are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm very much.
okay. So I'll be giving you some like forms, right? I would like you to just put into AI step by step, right? So this will be like a chain of thought prompting, basically. So I'll just type into AI first. Let's start with using the example I gave. So the first thing is do a competitive analysis between ChatGPT. So I'll try and do it on my phone here too. Do a competitive analysis between ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity. So I'm doing it on my phone here too.
Okay. Okay. Just that, right?
Yes, just that. That's the first one. That's like a specific goal.
Okay.
Then, so this is like a chain of thought prompting. We're going to give the AI the prompt step by step.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I was giving my own answer. It gave me bullet points.
Yeah, it gave me 3 bullet points. Then it's also segmenting it in a tabular form.
Yeah. Okay, give it tabular. He didn't even give me tabular form. Can we see? He didn't give me tabular form.
Gave me tabular form and then sites where I think so. Yes,
Now,
sites where I could get it.
okay. How long is it? How many points did he give you?
He gave me 3 tabular forms of ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Perplexity. Then he now gave
Okay.
me the table. On the table, I have Dimension, I have ChatGPT, I have Gemini, and then I have Perplexity AI. So he talked about the core strengths. On the Dimension core strengths, he talked
Mhm.
about the real-time web or retriever for each of them. Talked
Okay.
about the multimodality, that's image, audio, and video. Talked
Mhm.
about citations, that is source
So
and
how many?
transparency. Where
How
I
many?
get
Those
it.
those those key factors. How many?
8. I have
Eight.
8.
Eight. Eight. Give me 10. Yeah.
It also even gave me strengths and weaknesses in a condensed form.
Great.
Gave me best fit recommendations, then quick notes on adoption and risks.
Great. That's great. That's very detailed. Now let's tell it. This analysis is to determine the kind of AI tool to is to determine the kind of AI tool to adopt in a Nigerian school. Let's see if the response will change. This
The
analysis,
kind of to
this
adopt in
analysis is to help us choose help us choose a help us choose an AI tool to adopt in a Nigerian secondary school. That's the context.
okay. To choose an AI tool
To adopt in a Nigerian secondary school.
in a Nigerian secondary school. Okay.
I want you to now tell me if anything changes.
Okay.
I gave us 3 points. I mentioned three words when beside this class. I said the response of AI must be accurate. It must be relevant, right? And I think
Yeah.
specific. Accurate,
Yeah.
relevant, and I think specific. Yeah.
So
Now,
it's generated.
okay. What's the first statement he gave you first?
And the first statement is talked on ChatGPT, pros for secondary school use, talked about the cons, and then the best use cases in school.
Is there a difference? Because my own there's a clear difference. Telling me that okay, it's now including things like WAEC NECO, local policy curriculum. State like okay, based on this, because it's relevant to Nigeria, it's now including things like the best one for WAEC NECO this thing. I don't know if it's
Okay.
giving you the same thing.
I've
It's
not
giving
seen
me that
anything
from
like that.
it's
Mr.
giving me that
Israel,
from yeah, I'm getting that. So I
are you
have
getting that, Mr. Israel?
yeah, yes, I think ChatGPT is trying to sell themselves here. It says choose ChatGPT best for said all round best, right? Then he now told me where did I put it? He said for curriculum WAEC, that's curriculum fit, WAEC, NECO, JAM, STEM,
Yes.
and literacy.
Yes. So you see that the first response he gave us, he did not include all those specific details of WAEC NECO, right? Because he did not have that context that, okay, this analysis is for a Nigerian school, not just for an American school or for a school in maybe anywhere in the world. But because to give them information, okay, this school, this analysis is for a Nigerian school, is now including relevant localized context, right? To make his answer more relevant to the target audience, basically. So I wouldn't want us to waste more time on going, but it is that if you input more information based on, okay, give me, because it has never given, the way it gave me a tabular form, none of my response has given me a tabular form at all, right? I can now say, okay, based on, thank you very much, give me that kind of tabular form. That's number 3, structure. Okay, assuming that you are a school principal, all of that, this response is for maybe our board of directors to help them give us funding, and all of that. You can also give it an example, all of this detail. The more you give it more information, the better your response becomes, right? The more you give it, the more information you give it, the better the response it gives you, the more relevant the response it gives you. So that's basically, how prompting works. Thank you so much. I have some additional tools here that I can send to Mr. Israel. There's this tool called Prompt Genie. Prompt Genie is a tool that can help you create prompts. Very funny. When I saw the tool, I was like, it's an AI tool that can help you create AI prompts. So I can share all this with Mr. Israel. So there's also this resource I saw online, overview of prompting strategies, effective prompting for educators, AI model comparison, and so on and so forth. So thank you very much. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you, Mr. Israel.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fukun. This is very insightful. Very insightful. I think there was something I wanted to tell you to go back on during the meeting, during the call. You mentioned, okay, this is like my own question. So please let's prepare our questions. If you have any question, let's just ask. There are two things you mentioned five, what do you call it? There were five keys you gave us first. I was only able to pick three. Okay, types of prompts. The chain of thoughts, iterative prompting, negative prompting. The first one was what again?
One shot
One.
learning. Let me quickly just go through that. There's 0 shot, there's 1 shot, and then there's few shots.
Okay, so that's 6 of them. All right. So
6.
this is so insightful. This is so insightful. Please, if you have any question, please let's ask now. We're about to shut down. I believe we've learned a lot. Please, if you have even learned something, let's just put an emoji or something or thank you in the chat, just to appreciate Ms. Ibukun. Thank you for this session. All right, I'm waiting for our chats. I'm waiting for our thank you.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Oh, that's Mr. James. Okay, I did something. I sent a link, and that link is making everybody that enter come in with my name. I'll
Yeah,
be renaming you as you speak now. All right, Mr. James.
yeah, sorry for joining late anyway. Other engagements that carried my time. Well, it was a powerful one from the place where I joined. Anyway, I think it was at this type of prompting. And the way you explain, I was able to understand some of the things and why we get some of the results we get when we're doing prompting. So I must appreciate you for taking out time for this meeting, right? It's a powerful one, and we're very grateful for that. For now, my questions are not forthcoming because I didn't stay through from the beginning, right? So maybe when I go through it again, I can revert to you or Mr. Elijah. Anyway, thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you, Mr. James. So I can see a few other names on the call, because I want us to drop a comment or a question. I think I see Mr. John. That's John, so that's a Mr. I can see Econ Obong. Okay, we're actually waiting for you. We're waiting for you. All right, Mr. Agokemene, please can you share the screen of the last 3 slides? Okay, so Mr. Bukunde, asking if you could share the screen of the last 3 slides.
Okay, let me quickly do that. The last 3 slides. Okay, so from here, right?
Is it from here or from, I think, anatomy? Do you mean the anatomy of prompts? Anatomy of prompts. Then after anatomy of prompts, I think what we had was the example prompt that we
Yes.
Okay, so I think Ekom Obong is trying to speak, but we can't hear any sound.
Understand? That's type.
Can you hear me?
Okay, okay. The slide on
Yes.
CSA. Okay.
Sorry, my network is stable. Mr. Elijah from TSA, can you share your screen, please?
Okay. So I want to share my screen now. Miss, and we can hear from Miss Queen also. Thank you for your response there.
So I
I'm going to
stop sharing, right?
Okay, you can stop sharing. Let me quickly jump to that screen. Miss, if it's possible to have this slide shared to the group, the one you
I can share my notes. I will not be
okay.
able to share the entire slide because there's the other information there too. So
All right. I was good. And Miss Buku, please tell us about the course because you told me it was a course. So may I want to just tell us about it.
okay, so this is like the course, but like not the entire course. There's still like more details. This is module 2. I just followed on module 2, right? That's something. There's module 3 with different AI tools, and there's also a class on how to build AI agents, basically as teachers. Let's say you want to be able to understand why some students don't understand, or let me say what okay, yeah, let's so I did a survey and I was asking teachers what kind of what's like the biggest challenge you're having in your classroom, and most people are talking about grading assessment. So let's say you want to build an AI tool that can help you assess your students, grade your students assignments and classwork. So how to build AI tools like that. So basically it's still in the works. I'll get back to Mr. Israel. But this is just like an intro, because even if we build an AI tool, for you to even build an AI tool, you need to understand how to prompt, right? That's the most important. That's like the first thing. So understanding prompting gives like a foundation to now doing other things with AI, like building AI agents, and doing other things basically. So that's really what the course is about. How to use other AI tools like Gmind AI, Suno, um, other AI tools that are specific to education, not just general AI tools. AI tools like ChatGPT are like very general. They are
Yeah.
not specific to a particular field, but there are key AI tools that are, made specifically for education. So how to use those tools, how to build AI agents. So that's really what the course is about.
All right. So I believe that Ms. Buku is going to give us more information once I mean, is that what you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make sure to share that information with us once it's up. There are a few
Yeah.
courses. Um, thank you. There are a few courses. I think we just have like a few seconds. There are a few courses that we've been running and we're going to have even resuming next year. I hope that that's for the Tech Tutors community now. We hope to have at least um one or two more or maybe none till next year webinars like this. It has always been a way we're able to share knowledge. I've seen teachers come back. In fact, some did not even probably come and tell me, but what they tell me what the person did with it, and I'm like, wow, how did they do that, right? So one of the courses, one course we're putting together for January, that is 10x your productivity with AI. Because this is definitely the Black Friday period, right? The first period we're going to give you 30% off for that course. We have another course on web development for teacher. We announced this, I think, somewhere in September. So a couple of teachers put in their interest. We didn't run the course at that time. The only one we ran was for online and virtual tutoring, and that course is going to we probably might not run the version tutoring in the next section, but we're going to start with this web for teachers and also Python programming for teachers. So we understand that in the Lagos curriculum right now, much of these have been introduced or have been more emphasized, right? So a couple of schools are doing it, a couple of computer teachers are even in the community. I saw a lot of requests for it the time we did our first training. and that's why we brought it out. We're emphasizing it for January next year. So this is an opportunity to register first and before that. And finally, classroom for digital space. Um, turn your classroom to digital space. That is a course for creation of educational slide, video editing, AI generation, and tools to make your digital learning content, right? This is also like an offshoot for what we learned last class, video generation. We know that this is one of the top skills you need in this time of what will I call it now? Content creation boom, right? Everybody's creating content, right? So we all to learn these things. And one thing I would say have discussion, I've not told Ms. Ibuko about it, but we definitely want to have her also facilitate on that AI course, also to be able to share these deep insights that she's sharing with us. And I think that's what we'll be wrapping it. Miss Praise, you're going to throw us some points today. Do you want to share those things?
Sorry. Mr. Israel.
Yes, please.
Yes, I also want to say that I have an AI template, a template for teachers, basically prompt template, about 40. It's for 1,000 naira. So if anyone would like to get it, so this structure of the anatomy of AI, an anatomy of prompts, right, that I already taught on today. So I have like 40 prompts based on this anatomy for different classroom tasks, like creating lesson notes, creating a marking guide, differentiated instruction, and all of that. So it's just for 1,000 naira. I'm going to share the link with you, Mr. Israel. So if anyone is interested in it, they can get that too.
All right, thank you. I will make sure that gets to the group. And I'm looking for maybe one or two people to give, is it one or two people to give a giveaway of those prompts. So let's see. I've not know what I'm going to use to choose those people. But I think someone I've not been active from the beginning of this session has been Ekomo Bong, and Mr. Nene is a guest. Miss Queen, I believe, has been very active. Don't worry, I'll get back to us on that. All right, so we're gonna wrap it now. Any other questions from anywhere? Miss Nene, are you still there? Do you want to say something?
Well, nothing much, nothing much. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Ibukun, for that wonderful session. It was such a great eye opener, right? I learned something new today. Yeah, so it was such a wonderful session. So the only thing I will add that for Ekomo Bong, she was mentioning something about generating image and the rest. So one more thing I will just add to wrap it up is that while trying to generate your prompts, one thing I also do is I give all those context and everything and then ask ChatGPT to generate the prompts instead of me just being the one doing that. So I can just say, oh, this is what I want, this is the context, this is the way I want it to be, just like Miss Ibukon has explained today, the context, the structure, the goals and objective. Then I asked ChatGPT, okay, I want you to generate a prompt for, is it Perplexity AI, Grok, Gemini? So I guess that's another little thing I do about my prompting that gives me something good. So that's what I have to say. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Mr. Elijah. Thank you, Miss Ibukun, for the wonderful session. Yeah. God bless you.
Right. All right.
See.
So these are listening, and one thing for sure is that this recording is out there for us to always go back and rewatch. It's on YouTube. The YouTube link is already on the group. If you're not on the group, I don't know. I'm not sure I can identify whether I know Miss Queen. The other person too that was on the call. I'm not sure I know them because a couple of people that are in community that always join these meetings. Sometimes we join on YouTube and sometimes we join here and I can identify them. So if there's any part that we missed, we can just go over it again on the YouTube link. And I'm going to share the link that I'm going to share that link with the group already and probably write something to that. So the link that Ms. Ibukun shared to us. All right, thank you so much. Ms. Ibukun, do you have any other thing you want to say as we wrap up the curtain today?
No, thank you very much, Miss Nene. Thank you so much for your help. You made it so seamless. So thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Israel, for this opportunity, to share with your community. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate you too. All right. So let's have a lovely weekend and let's keep impacting and sharing knowledge. I really think that's one of the best ways to grow and keep ever being fresh. All right. So goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.